Hi, I'm Novel Mike, and this is my opinion. So, the Nintendo Switch presentation is happening this Thursday at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is being broadcast live from Japan. It will be actually a Japanese presentation with an English translator and voiceover. And then the next morning, the Nintendo Treehouse, North America Treehouse, will be doing a live stream showing off a bunch of the games that they showed during this presentation. And that's pretty much when people are assuming pre orders are going to show up. We know some things like we know this we'll get a release date, or we seem to know that. We know we'll be getting most likely the price of it, that kind of thing, any kind of bundles they're doing. And there's tons of rumors swirling around about everything. But I did want to highlight one in particular because I think, from what I know, it's pretty factual. Or at least, if this is fake, then this person has extensive knowledge of GameStop or is an employee of GameStop that did fake it. So that said, I'm going to show this image on the screen right around here right now. What this image is, let me bring it up on mine, is a listing of Nintendo Switch games coming out for release and shortly thereafter. It is from a GameStop in Germany, which is why not all of it is in English. I'm not sure if the normal text would be in German at all, but what I'm looking at here is very familiar to me. I worked for GameStop for nearly a decade. This is very much the old way of looking up releases, which you can still do in the current systems, as far as I am aware. And this would be when I used to work for GameStop. This was actually something that I would browse all the time just to find out, new releases and stuff like that, and release dates and all that. And what this shows looks accurate to me. So to go over what you're looking at, it has a release date at the top left, on the left side. Then the description is the title of the game, the price, which I'm assuming this is euros or something to that effect, but it's possibly a placeholder price to begin with. The department, the SKU, PEGI is the ratings for Europe and if it's reservable or not. This seems like a huge slip up, and they launched this too early, possibly going up Thursday, possibly going up Friday. I guess it would be Friday for sure, and whenever that presentation happens in Europe. But anyway, so what you're seeing here, NSW is Nintendo Switch, and then you're seeing a bunch of games listed. Here you're seeing Dragon Quest X, which is possibly the biggest news that was not known if this is real. And I do want to, before I go any further, I do want to reiterate, I do not know for sure this is real. I think it is very, very likely that this is a legit thing from what I know, my experiences at GameStop, what their HUD looks like. Someone brought something like this up, and this is not something someone can produce in store. You can't just make up a list like this in store. It's not possible to do that. So from this, we see that. We see Breath of the Wild, Splatoon, which was shown, Mario Kart 8, which was shown at the little demo they did, NBA, Skyrim, Mario, Sonic. Mario is an obvious one. Sonic is one that we'll get to in a minute, because that is not what we would expect, because something we see later. You'll see Monster Hunter, Dragon Quest XI, which was previously announced for the Switch, so we do know that is coming. They've not said anything about Dragon Quest X, which is why that's such a surprising thing, because that's the MMO, which would be a good way to bring it to the West, but that also may just be a Europe thing, because Europe doesn't always get the same game we do. They don't get, we each do not always get the same games they do, so this might be possibly incorrect in different ways. And then you see a bunch of NX, I'm not going to try to pronounce that in German, but essentially that's placeholders. And then towards the bottom you see Lego City Undercover, Lego City Undercover, which would make sense, Just Dance, and then D-NSW Project Sonic 2017. So to begin with, the NSW is, of course, Nintendo Switch. The reason that there's NX placeholders in there is likely because these are things that they have had in their system for a long time, and they have not updated the SKUs yet, but now it is loading that department into this store system. And again, that's probably not something that was supposed to happen until Friday when they've corrected everything. So likely this just got launched early from corporate. They do a store update every night to update SKUs and stuff like that. So this is likely legit for that reason. This stuff kind of thing has happened before, never on a new console though. I've seen SKUs before they were announced of games. Generally they're released or announced like same day or next day, that kind of thing, when I would work at GameStop. But you know, it never was anything too huge. It was just it's mistakes that happen. So the release dates I would not take a lot of account of. I would not expect that we're getting both like Dragon Quest X and Dragon Quest XI in March, and Dragon Quest XI is actually coming out in March. With how little we've seen of Dragon Quest XI, I think it's more likely that one of those is the release. I would say Dragon Quest X, and that's a big thing they've been keeping secret since that game is already finished and whatnot. And they're just pointing it to the Switch. And then Dragon Quest XI will be later on this year. All the release dates are all placeholders. Like, you can, even though like the one at the bottom, Sonic, is a like end of the year kind of thing, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So we knew about several of these. Splatoon, Mario Kart, NBA, Skyrim, Mario, and Zelda, of course, have already been previously announced. The Monster Hunter may have been announced. I can't remember if it was just like highly suggested it was going to happen. Sonic, the two Sonics are interesting. So Sonic could be the Project Sonic is 2017 is what they were calling Sonic Generations 2, or at least what everyone's been kind of dubbing it as Sonic Generations 2, and not Sonic Mania. So it's possible this other Sonic game is Sonic Mania, since that was supposed to have a spring release, which would be really cool. But that was not previously announced for the Switch, where if I remember correctly, the Generations 2 game was. So this could be something that changed, or maybe Nintendo just didn't want them talking about it yet, the same way that, you know, Bethesda said that, you know, Skyrim wasn't for sure coming to the system. You know, Nintendo's been wanting developers to kind of stay quiet about what's actually coming for the system, and never wanted to confirm that any of the videos that they showed in the original Switch presentation were coming to the system. Besides that, the placeholders, that doesn't mean all of the games. I mean, with some of the ones that have been rumored, there's a Mario RPG that's been rumored, there's Beyond Good and Evil 2 that's been rumored, and some other things. Those are very possible to be coming out, available on the Switch. They won't be release date, of course. That's why they're placeholders to begin with. Most of those are possibly, and it's very possible those games are not these placeholders, and that these are other games, and that very least this is the suggested launch lineup, or at least what the companies that are producing games for the system are willing to announce right now for the system. That's why you're seeing some games with, you know, the titles on there, and some that wouldn't be. You know, Ubisoft's apparently working on a game, EA is working on a game, stuff like FIFA. You would think that would be up here already, and it's not, and that would make sense if that was indeed there, and it isn't. So it is possible that all these placeholders are games that haven't been announced. It's also possible that they are games that are not coming out anytime soon, and that's why they're just in there as an NX placeholder, but they would have been in there for a long time to still be under the NX tag. Then again, they may have just never updated them, or it could just be filler. They just put a bunch of placeholders in that department because they didn't know what it was going to be at the time, and they just haven't removed them yet. That is also very possible, and that may mean nothing. That doesn't mean that also we aren't going to see a bunch of other things show up on a reserve list for Thursday or Friday, whenever Nintendo announces everything. It is very possible that this is just what was previously announced that they were willing to put in here. And again, the biggest thing on here for me, at least, is Dragon Quest X, because almost everything else is known. Possibly if the Sonic game is Sonic Mania, and that would make sense if that was a launch title, since that, as far as I remember, that was a spring release. And everything else has pretty much been shown for it. What is also interesting with this is that the other Sonic project down there is listed as D-NSW Project Sonic 2017, which could mean it is discontinued SKU, and it's just one that hasn't been deleted, and now it's just NSW Sonic, and they just haven't removed it yet. It could be that there is not Sonic Mania, and it's just the 3D Sonic that is coming to the system. It is hard to say. It's just that since that one is directly listed as a D beforehand, normally from my experience, if something like that is listed with a D beforehand, that would mean discontinued, either discontinued item or discontinued SKU in that system. Just talking from what I know technically here, it could be nothing, it could be something. I do think that this list is fairly legit, though. I don't see anything on here that would make me think that this is incorrect, besides that part of the UI is in German, which you can see down there at the bottom, and the placeholder, NX placeholder, is whatever that says in German, and other parts of it are in English, but that could just be because it's a universal system, and the buttons, the way that the layout is, like on the right there where you see like sort by description, pre-sell, parental systems, parental system, etc., like all those are just hardwired into the old system, and they just don't have that as a German version in this system. But I do not know. Like, that is the only thing that is possibly off. But I think this is legit. I think this is probably, I would say all the games that say NSW, besides Dragon Quest 11, are probably going to be launch titles. So that is Dragon Quest 10, Zelda, Splatoon, Mario Kart 8, NBA, Skyrim, this whatever Mario game, whatever Sonic game, Monster Hunter, Dragon Quest 11. I shouldn't say launch titles. I should say launch lineup. So the first couple months, that's probably what we're going to be seeing. There's been a lot of rumors about Zelda being a legit a launch title and actually on the date, and Mario's been pushed back, even though it was suggested before that it was vice versa. Mario was going to be the launch, Zelda was going to be later, which has happened before with Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze and Mario 3D World. Originally, Donkey Kong was going to come out on Wii U in the holiday season, and then it got pushed back to February, so they moved Mario up. It's possible they did the same thing, with this. Of course, that was a couple years ago. I'm just bringing up stuff now. But yeah, I think this is legit. I'm excited for Thursday. I think we're going to see a lot of cool stuff. I'm really hoping that this does not spoil anything huge. I don't think. Like, Dragon Quest X would be a really cool announcement if this is legit, because that is a game we've never had in the West. But and it might be a way that they're trying to grow the popularity of Dragon Quest before the 11th game comes out for 3DS, PS4, and the Switch. But that is an unknown. I am really curious to see what exactly we get from this, and I am pretty hyped. I think that a lot of the rumors are probably accurate. Most of the rumors are coming from like the same couple of sources that have been right about previous rumors, including that Mother 3, which was originally rumored for last year for Wii U, has been moved as a virtual console game to the Switch, which I would be okay with, but damn it, Nintendo, stop holding those frigging games for ransom. God, just, if you want people to buy them, just have them available. And I think what I want most out of this entire presentation is an affordable price, a realistic release date, a good launch lineup, but most importantly, a unified account system that essentially says if you have bought previous games, like if I bought Earthbound on Wii U or 3DS, I have it on the Switch now. Not the way they've done the virtual console so far. I think Jim Sterling just came out with a video about how crappy the virtual console system is. And as much as I love Nintendo, it is probably their online marketplace is probably one of their biggest faults, and I really hope they fix that with the Switch. But this has been going on for a while now. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I will have a video up this weekend talking about the Nintendo Switch reveal, what happens, how goes pre-ordering for it, that kind of thing when I can. And we will see what happens. I'm excited for Thursday. I hope you are too. I do have family coming in, so it may be a little bit late, possibly Sunday before I get that video up. I may not have time to do it before then. We will see what happens. But I am excited. I hope you are too. And I do think that what we're seeing here is legit, and I do believe that you can... I don't believe you can believe those release dates. I would say a majority of those are probably accurate. I would say One of the Dragon Quest games is not coming out the same day. I would say that it's very possible the Sonic game is not the same day, the Mario game is not the same day, and Monster Hunter is not the same day. Everything else is probably same day. Maybe Lego City Undercover is not. We will have to see. But yeah, it's a pretty decent launch lineup if that is what it is. I mean, you got Skyrim, Mario Kart. Mario Kart and Splatoon might not be same day too. I don't think they're going to launch the system with that many games all on the same day, first party Nintendo stuff. Maybe those two because they are remakes from Wii U games, but I think that Nintendo would be, or ports I should say, Nintendo would be putting those out at a later time to help, let the systems launch breathe and keep offering new games in its launch lineup. But it remains to be seen. We'll find out Thursday, hopefully. And anyway, I'm Novel Mike. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, everybody. Hope this was at least somewhat informative and answers probably the 1,000 questions you have about the screenshot, because it is a very interesting screenshot, and you need someone who knows what that system is like to really understand everything that it says. But anyway, have a great day, everybody. I'll see you sometime this weekend. Bye. Hey everyone, Novel Mike here. I did want to follow up with a couple things that I meant to talk about in the video that I forgot to go over in the original recording. So 2 questions real quick. I know that one question I saw was about Monster Hunter being rated PEGI 18, which the series has never been that. It is possible that the game is just rated that for whatever reason that is in that game, but the more likely reason is that is just pretty much just a mistake that was put in. Again, this is probably something that was revealed early, and it's most likely that none of these games that are coming out in March have been rated by the ESRB yet, so it is probably just a mistake, someone putting that in there just in case. I've seen that before, where GameStop will put a game in thinking that it would be a mature rated before it's rated to make sure that we card people for it. Many times Call of Duty, stuff like that, they do that. Not as much Call of Duty, but other games. And that's why that would happen, just to make sure that, the system is in place and they don't have someone reserve the game and it does get rated higher. And then essentially what happens is that somebody comes pick up the game and it's a kid and they're not old enough to buy it, and then that creates a big problem. I don't know how those policies work outside of the US though, so I could be completely wrong about that. I will freely admit that. But that is my guess based off that, and even if I'm wrong about the reason why it's rated as 18, most likely it's just a mistake. The other thing is I know people were asking, well, why does GameStop even have this information ahead of time? For those who do not know, GameStop regularly talks to publishers and gets this information ahead of time. That's why when Call of Duty gets announced, you can walk into a GameStop and reserve it. And it's been going on like that for years and years and years. I think that's mostly common knowledge, but yeah, that does include system launches and stuff like that. Now, they don't just make this up on the fly at corporate, once, they see the presentation on Thursday. No, they've already got it in the system. They've talked to Nintendo. They've signed NDAs. They know exactly what's going in, and essentially they just have to press a button. It updates everybody's system once the information comes out, and then stuff like this does get revealed at when it's not meant to be at a time before they announce things. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen on occasion, and that is generally why that happens. But that's just a few of the questions I saw online from other people and stuff, so I wanted to make sure I covered those as well in this video. But anyway, I'm Novel Mike. Have a great day, everybody. See you later.